Tonight on WVUA News at 6.
A piece of history is being laid just in time for the University of Alabama's A-Day game. I'm Jennifer Edwards, and I'll have that story plus other A-Day preparations. That's all coming up on WVUA News.
And one family who lost everything on April 27th will get a new home thanks to a local website. Plus, Alabama lawmakers could be taking a pay cut. An escaped inmate is now captured. And the latest on the Trayvon Martin case. The news at 6 starts right now.
You're watching Alabama's WVUA News at 6.
We're glad you're with us this evening. I'm Terry Brewer in for Lynn Brooks and Philip Coleman. We are less than 48 hours from A-Day at the Capstone, and Bama fever is rising. Preparations for the big game are happening all over the University of Alabama campus. WVUA reporter Jennifer Edwards has the details.
Just in time for the A-Day game, Alabama's 14th national championship win is now set in stone. Crews laid the granite stones in the Walk of Champions Thursday. Isaac Peterson with Masonry Arts says it takes about one day, and the company is glad to be a part of the Crimson tradition.
It's fun, being a Tide fan like all of us are. We wore our red shirts today just so we would, look good out here, by the stadium. It's fun. It's really a nice thing to be able to be a part of it.
Preparations for the big day are also happening at the Bryant Museum. Director of the Bryant Museum, Ken Gaddy, says A-Day has turned into one of their biggest days.
We're expecting in the 4,000 range for fans just on A-Day by itself. So we're getting ready, trying to get everything clean and everything working in proper order and shining up that new national championship trophy.
Gaddy says they're expecting more people than usual because for many fans, this is the first time they can see the 14th national championship trophy.
We have not only the ones going back to 1992, that national championship, we have 09 and now this year's national championship, and it's brand new so people get their first opportunity to see it.
Gaddy says all staff will be working on A-Day. Doors open at 9 a.m. Reporting in Tuscaloosa, Jennifer Edwards, WVUA News.
Now here's a closer look at A-Day events. According to UA Game Day operations, gates open at 11 a.m. and admission is free. The Skills Challenge competition starts at 11:45. You can catch the Walk of Fame at 12:20. Also, remember Alabama's home team, WVUA, is the place for A-Day coverage. We'll have a live A-Day special edition of Crimson Tide kickoff from the Capstone. That show runs from noon to 1 p.m. On Saturday, kickoff for A-Day is set for 2 o'clock. The game will be carried on Comcast Sports South. Well, it was an exciting day for 20 furry friends in Tuscaloosa. Today kicked off the 2012 Tour for Life campaign. It's a campaign that includes the North Shore Animal League all the way from Long Island, New York. They take a bus to different towns across the nation to hold adoptions for local animals. Today was the first stop of the tour. Linda Workman with the Tuscaloosa Metro Animal Shelter says finding homes for animals is getting harder and harder.
Finding good homes for the pets can be a challenge, especially when you have 200 plus animals in your building and you have so many that need homes and not enough homes to put them in.
If everybody would just spay and neuter, we would stop having so much problem with the pet overpopulation.
The tour will also make stops in Florence and Huntsville. Well, thanks to a local website, one family who lost everything on April 27th will get a new home. Today, wellthat'scool.com gave a check to Habitat for Humanity. They partnered with Creative Campus from the University of Alabama to raise more than $26,000. The website is made up of people who live in Tuscaloosa and hold weekly podcasts about local events in the area. Most of the money came from the Get Up concert held at the Bama Theater on March 23rd. Organizers say it's nice to see the money raised turn into something nice.
Unlike donating money other places, this is something where you could see, it's very tactile, you could feel it, you can actually see where your money goes. If somebody bought a ticket to the show, when they walk by, they're like, that hedge, that's me, The
fact that we are able to give back and, help build a house such as this one with the Nero family is fantastic for us, and we're just thrilled to be a part of it.
The website says they hope to hold an event like this in the future. On your Crime Watch, new charges may be on the way for Timothy Richards. He is the West Alabama inmate who officials say escaped and was captured in Ohio. Richards was in prison convicted of murder. Now, as we've reported, Richards could not be found at his assigned bunk and could not be located during an inmate count at the state cattle ranch in Hale County this weekend. Officials believe Richards had assistance in getting to Ohio. Brian Corbett with the Alabama Department of Corrections says they will learn more about what happened when Richards gets back to Alabama.
Actually, he will be extradited back to Alabama once he gets back to Alabama and can actually be interviewed and interrogated. I'm sure we'll learn much more about the circumstances of the escape and how he got to Ohio.
Authorities say the case remains under investigation. Richards was sentenced to life in prison in February 2000 in Walker County. He had a parole hearing scheduled for May 2013. Now to the Alabama legislature, where there are new developments in the state's troubled prepaid college tuition plan. The legislature has approved a bill to restore a settlement over PAC. PAC's board had reached a settlement to pay tuition at 2010 rates rather than current rates, but the Alabama Supreme Court struck it down in March. The court said the settlement violated a law the legislature passed in 2010 to provide extra funding to PAC. That law provided for the program to be 100% funded. Today, the Alabama Senate passed a bill removing the full funding provision. Alabama State Treasurer says this legislation will be used to ask the Supreme Court to reconsider its decision. Alabama lawmakers could soon be making what the average Alabamian makes in a year. A proposed constitutional amendment to the Alabama legislature's paychecks to the state's median household income has cleared a state Senate committee. If the amendment is approved by the Senate, lawmakers would be paid the same as the average person in Alabama. The compensation for legislators is currently more than $52,000 a year. If approved by the Senate, it will be up for a statewide vote in the general election on November 6th. Still to come for you on WVUA News at 6, the man charged with second-degree murder in the death of Trayvon Martin appeared in court today. Hear from the Martin family attorney next.
And coming up in Home Team Weather, it's dry across the deep south this afternoon, watching a severe weather outbreak across the plains. We deal with any severe weather issues around here. And how about your weekend forecast? Weather's coming up, so stay with us.
And the Crimson Tide football team held its final practice this afternoon. Prior to Saturday's A-Day game, Gary Harris will have a report later for you in Alabama's Home Team Sports.